Right, actually, about I had an idea to make a magazine based on income from the design of perfume bottles I made. Right, I named them and I made them. I was drawing the perfume bottle. Right, I actually thought that the piracy of the perfume bottles and the names, and also of the idea of the Euroman and Eurowoman, was a sort of, you could say, officially company thing. I thought like it was the, let's say, Boss, for example, or Armani. I thought that they had actually been, they had an offer from a designer that had stolen the bottle design, right? I realized that actually the bottles were maybe not even recognized by Boss. And if you confronted the people at Euroman and Eurowoman about this, I had the finance plan, the name, the interview lists, and how it's supposed to be, the concept of it, right? At the same time, in the United States, the Junior Kennedy was making the magazine George, and I actually also had some ideas about, you know, this book about the politician, and also because when I was in Ireland in '91, I looked after two horses, and the one was called George, right, and the other one was called Color Field. And at the first time, because I'm, military involved, so I thought like George, that must be the President George, right? Colorfield, I thought like that's a military expression or something. I didn't really think about that there was a magazine called George, but at the time I was in London, I think Junior Kennedy's first lady secretary came in to, I think, a hairdresser or something, and said, "Would you like to see this magazine, George?" And I was on the peace mission to Northern Ireland, so I was really out of. I was not in the creative with the films and the music and the lyrics and the film scripts. I was somewhere else, so I just said, "Yeah, yeah, sure." And I looked through this magazine, and I didn't realize that I actually was in the magazine business. And they also made like a funny film about some ugly duckling thing that got a role in the magazine and became a swan and married the director and stuff like that. So I didn't really follow up on my things properly enough. And I also realized that maybe there's a reason for that, because maybe I couldn't handle the rights that they already were taken, right? So basically, I think I have, in a way, I gave up too early on the rights of my film rights and my music rights and my design rights, and also because I maybe had a mission about this peace process in Cold War and changing Russia and the peacemaking in Northern Ireland, and then came the Yugoslavian war. So I was really like, who gives a fuck about music, film, and magazine when there's a fucking war going on, you know? And that's probably who I am. I'm too serious in a way, right? And then that night, I have like sometimes I have a intuition or something about something's gonna happen to someone. I don't know what it is. It's maybe a little into the yoga world or whatever, like sixth sense or something. I can sometimes feel that this child is in big danger, and some of it is probably from body language, from, I don't know. It's maybe more logic than I realized, but I had like a feeling that something would happen over in the United States, or maybe I was getting the news. I don't know, but I was trying to prevent something to happen. I'm pretty sure about that. So I kind of tried to activate, because the phone, as right now, the phone didn't work. I couldn't call anymore. So I tried to kind of activate people I could get in touch with, like. So actually, I felt like maybe there was something going on. Whether it's if you roll the film back, maybe it was that something had happened, and then you realize something had happened, and you try to make sense of it. or you got a kind of feeling that something will happen. Another thing is that I have also been sailing when I was a child, right? And I think there's a picture of a woman on a boat that I think is my mom, right? And then something happened. I think they came out in a storm, and there was maybe there was another boat going close to them, and they were in a way intruded or something. And so there's a lot of, you know, if I am from Australia or United States and end up here, that's another picture, right? If it was something about, I also had I have a nightmare about people lost at sea, right? And especially connected to yellow raincoats. I get really freaked when I see yellow raincoats, especially with children, and it's like I seen some child in the water at some point being left behind, and I kind of deal with it, trying, you know, get in the water, get up on some, it's really scary, and I really don't know where that memory is from. We are at this area is low sea. It's a low water, and they can't even sail big boats here. So you can actually stand in the water, right? That I hope was the thing, right? But I have this nightmare about the water, and I think that some of the pictures. There's also another case, a child. I work with child missing, and every time there's a boy looking like this boy in the yellow raincoat, I kind of connect somehow to what happened to you, why were you suffering, or who is the people around you. And when I look into something, whatever it's an accident or a crime, or it's a missing person, I always look at people around them. What could they have to do with it, you know? So when they relieve some new archives, or I get some new insight about what I am and what went wrong in my life, then I kind of realize that sometimes you get totally new data. You know, if you learn that the person you knew as a architecture was a photographer or a newspaperman, then the whole thing changed. Or maybe that he was a policeman, MP, or whatever, and the whole scheme changed, because then his position in life is important, right? So when I sometimes listen to Junior Kennedy, it's not because I'm not a fan. I could actually sometimes suspect him a little bit, but I think he's nice to listen to. I think he has a nice voice, and he's also like, there's some, I don't know, there's some, his tone is very calm, I think. So it's actually nice to listen to. Sometimes I listen to thunderstorms or jungle rain or something, just to calm down if I'm tired or something. That's it. But I'm still looking into all of the archives, because I have investigation where it looks like the paparazzi were the killers, as in Diana, Princess Diana, and also in my case of my boy Alex. It looks like it's the media run crime. It's a media deep fake news. It's a media generation of abuse of film and lyrics and stuff like that. That might have been pushing somebody to commit a worse crime than stealing, right? That's a fact, right? That's why. So it's not that I'm trying to imagine that people can survive everything and so on, or that I like being fan of somebody. It's not that. It's just like I have some unsolved mystery about where these people came from, what they're doing. For example, if the paparazzi were from Australia or UK, and they toured around making a horror film crimes, and I think some of the music stars and actors, they die too early, and I'm just questioning if the press is beginning to be like a murderous press that puts people up and they crash them afterwards. And I also question sometimes people's ID, right? Who am I, for example? You wouldn't know shit about it. And actually, sometimes there can be a person disappearing, even dying, turning up another place. Especially risk is for talented rich people's children is always at a risk. So that's why I sometimes look into archives and analyze pictures and stuff. And you always learn something. So, Junior Kennedy, it's not that I look at a lot of other cases. I also look into what happened to the royal house after the Nazis came, after the West power came and took over the Danes that went a little bit with the Nazis, what happened to the people that went with the Nazis in Denmark, blah, 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 long story. So, yeah, I do some research for sure.